Hello, I'm Jack from Super Red MMA Show. Today we're going to talk about Michel Pereira getting DQ'd from the Diego Sanchez fight at UFC 167. We're going to talk about the DQ itself. We're going to talk about what it means for Sanchez.
Jack and Mel weigh in.
I love Diego Sanchez, man, but he is a weird dude. The whole build-up to this fight was just odd. He coaching himself last fight, I think, and then has some weird guy who's doing like pressure point stuff in the dressing room with him. It was just all very odd. His clucking like a chicken and strutting around the octagon was odd. Michel Pereira, an interesting fighter, but you do question whether or not he's true UFC caliber. He was on his way to a 30-27 victory to my eye. The DQ was just odd. The fight was just odd. It was the perfect ending for one of the weirdest fights ever, just in terms of build-up and the two characters coming together and Sanchez just being mad. And it was, it was always going to end in some sort of chaos. Not the kind of chaos I thought it would, but it's still chaos nonetheless. First UFC card ever to have 2 DQs on it, which I thought was interesting. But this DQ, I mean, the problem is, Sanchez was getting beaten handily to me, and I think that the UFC broadcast team sort of did Diego Sanchez a bit of a disservice. First of all, the referee probably should have just DQ'd him. It's either DQ or it's not to me. If it's illegal and that's it, it should just be a DQ. Second of all, putting a fighter in that position, live broadcasting the conversation was a bit odd to me. Sort of did a bit of a dirty on Sanchez. We tweeted about that last night.
He's shaking his head, no, it's over.
He can't continue?
He can't continue.
It's an illegal shot. You can't see the blood. You can't see.
But at the same time, he could probably have continued, but why should he? He had a literal hole in his forehead. He'd just been kneed illegally, and this is the most important thing to me. He would have lost his win bonus, and in a world where the UFC do not pay fighters probably as well as they should. In fact, on the podcast tomorrow we're going to discuss the recent announcement that the UFC pays something silly like 14, 16 or 18% of their money to fighters, which is just ludicrous. What did you expect him to do? He's a veteran, he's got tons of savvy, and I don't hate this at all. I think if it is a DQ, it's a DQ, and why should Diego Sanchez lose out on his win bonus just because of that? It's a shame that the fight ended in this way in some regards, because obviously, it would have been nice to see Pereira get the win based off his performance up until that point, but at the same time, it is what it is. Sanchez's chin, I think, has been questioned recently. In that fight, I thought he took a few good shots, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. There was a disqualification, right or wrong. I saw it as a grounded opponent, but I've seen people online saying that it wasn't. I thought it was. It looked grounded to me, but at the same time, that's not really relevant, because if the referee sees it as that, especially in a state where they don't allow the instant replay to qualify that, that's the call that's made. I don't think Sanchez should have continued. I think he was clearly concussed. I think that that knee put a hole in his forehead that was just going to get worse if that fight continued. And most importantly, it's the money thing. If you told me, right, you're feeling ill at work, you can go home today and you'll get double your money, I'm going to take it. I'm not going to stay around and be like, oh, okay, do you know what, I'll just stay around because I'm on my path to get beaten. He was going to lose the fight, therefore lose his win bonus, doesn't owe it to any of us. And I've said this before in the podcast, does not need to prove anything to anybody. None of these UFC guys need to prove how tough they are. It's blatantly obvious, and anybody that criticizes that, unless you are a high caliber or even a UFC caliber fighter at all, I don't think that you can call these guys pussies or bitches or taking the easy way out or whatever it is. Diego Sanchez has been a warrior for a long time. He has been a constant source of entertainment for many years. That in itself isn't a reason to get away with, with taking the out. But to me, it's just business. It makes sense. I mean, he was clearly concussed, as I said. He had a hole in his forehead, and he's going to lose half his money. So in summary, for me, that's it. It's that simple. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Should Diego have continued? We are back with the podcast tomorrow. It is out every single Monday, so please be sure to check that out. We'll put links in the comments down below. Tag your friends, hit subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps us out. We'll have more videos coming out this week. So until then, peace.